What's up, everybody? Welcome to NBA Pick and Props. Second episode, we're doing it. I almost want to say ho, 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 Merry Christmas, but we are not there yet. We are at Christmas Eve, and Christmas is a time for gifts and giving, and that's always important. But for the basketball junkies, you're always thinking about those NBA Day Christmas games. Big time. I like to sit and watch all games, 5 if possible, but I don't always get to watch all of it, but I try to get to watch as much as I can. And we're going to talk a little bit today about those games and everything around it. Got my backpack broadcasting crew with me here to discuss that. My man, Bryan Fonseca, here joining me. Also from last time, my man, Jarod Hector and Jamal Murphy. How's everybody doing? Happy Merry Christmas Eve. We've seen a couple days of basketball already. How's everybody doing? The NBA's back.
Amped, man. Looking good. Some really good games. Holidays here. Gonna get me some wine as soon as we get off this show.
Oh yeah,
and to kick off the festivities.
Damn, it's got a little early, Gerard. But
Is it even noon yet?
Listen, man. It's been a hell of a 2020. All right. So as soon as we done, I'm about to start.
Yeah, you're lucky. I still got to go do some work, and then I will be joining you, Gerard, virtually in some of those festivities. Bryan, you all ready for Christmas? Or are you being the Christmas Grinch this year?
Grinch. Nah, I've won some money over the last couple of days, so I'm happy with that. Shout out to Malcolm Brogdon, Bam Adebayo. You know what I'm saying? Everybody holding it down. Other than that, all good, and we'll see. We'll just try to get to New Year's Day is basically the goal at this point.
And I hear you on that. And I got to ask Jamal, because Jamal, like me, is a fellow parent here. How much have the kids taken of your money this holiday season? And is are all the gifts ready to go?
They've taken all of my money and then some.
That's why Murph is gambling again.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. But and I haven't done. My wife did some wrapping this morning. I guess I have a duty to help out at some point.
I guess
so. Hopefully I'll motivate myself to do that soon.
All right, hopefully motivate. I still got a little bit of rapping to do tonight. I hate rapping. I figured the same, Jamal. I can't stand rapping. If I could just put all the gifts in a bag and let them be there, I'd be happy. I'd be fine.
Professional gift wrappers, baby. That's what I do. I don't
you know what? I feel you on that. Professional gift wrappers, so you can enjoy more wine. I am all for that. All right, we're gonna get into these NBA Day Christmas games. I like the matchup for the stuff this year, guys. That we saw the 5 games that we have on Christmas. I'm gonna start. Well, you know who we're starting off with. The first game features Bryan's team, who's coming off of a loss to the Orlando Magic. Bryan, your Miami Heat. They will be at home battling the New Orleans Pelicans. The line here, it opened at 5.5. Most betting houses have it at 4.5. The Heat at minus 4.5, being the favorites here, obviously. The Heat are favored. Who do you like in this game? And tell us why.
I mean, like, come on. But I mean, it wasn't a great game yesterday. I'll say that much. But I think some teams are just going to look weird in the beginning of the season, just getting into their flow. Miami probably being at the top of that list, given how last season ended, and given that last season ended not that long ago for them. So I'm going to say that, yeah, they'll cover. I don't think it's going to be a great win, and I think Zion's going to be a pain in the ass, especially because they're playing a smaller lineup with Mo Harkless at the 4, Bam Adebayo at the 5, as opposed to last year when they were running Bam at the 4 and Myers Leonard at the 5. They're still playing with their rotations. We haven't seen KZ Okpala yet. Avery Bradley missed the first game due to injury. Myers Leonard doesn't appear to have a role in this team, though they gave him almost $20 million for 2 years, though one of them is a team option. That's obviously going to be a trade bait contract, but I think they'll cover. But it's probably one that even I would stay away from for now, So we'll see.
That's a little shocking coming from you that you would stay away from that. Jarod, is this line tempting enough for you to get in on the action with the Heat and the Pelicans?
When it opened at 5.5, I said, ooh, because I think the Heat will win, but I thought the Pels could cover, right? I thought 5.5 was all right. That was enticing. I didn't love what I saw from the Heat last night against Orlando, and I think to Bryan's point, and I mentioned this on our first show, those teams that played late into the bubble, the Heat, the Lakers, they're just going to look a little bit slower coming out to start, and it's going to take a little time to ramp up. And I think on Christmas Day, Zion's going to want to show something, show he's the man. He's going to be a little bit annoying, as Brian said. And then, whoever's going to chase JJ Redick around all day, that's also annoying as hell too. So I just feel like that all those things to me tell me I still like the Heat because I think they'll find a way, but I like the Pels to keep this very, very tight, a one-possession game. So I might take the Pels to cover here.
Oh, wow. Okay. Taking the Pels to cover. Murph, what are you doing? We know you need to get some money after all that you spent on the kids' Christmas gifts. You put a little money here on the Heat or the Pels?
Yeah, I'm going to put some money on the Pelicans. That's my new team, by the way. So I watched them very closely. I love watching Zion. But in all seriousness, the Pels looked really good in that first game. You can see they play defense this year, which is a great thing. I'm old school. I love defense. I think that's the first sign of a good team. And they beat a very good Toronto team pretty easily in the second half. And Zion didn't even play that well. I mean, he had 15 points, 10 rebounds, but he did nothing in the first half. He got into foul trouble. So it was basically he showed up in the second half. Brandon Ingram looked great. Lonzo Ball looked pretty good. So I'm very high on the Pelicans this year. They seem to have be gelling already. So I like them in this game. I know the Heat will want to win this game since they lost their opening game. So they're going to come out, and really play hard for this one. That's one reason I like the under. I think I have 226 as the over/under points scored. I do like the under because both teams are going to play defense in this game. So I could see I like going under 226. And again, give me the Pelicans plus 4.5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Murph. I like the Pelicans plus 4.5 here because I think they're going to keep it a good game. The close game, Their defense is really improved. And I also think it ties into Jarod's other point, which is the teams like the Heat that had such that deep run, they're going to get off to the slow start in a way of not that they're going to lose a lot of games, but I think there are going to be some periods where they'll play sluggish, and we'll see that too. Also like it to be a strong defensive game. I would take the under as well too in terms of total points in this game. I would absolutely look at that. So I think it's a strong defensive game. The Pelicans are inspired to play defense hard under the new head coach Stan Van Gundy. We'll see how it turns out. So three of us have the Pelicans here. But I will say this. I understand why Brian also talked about staying away from this game. You might not maybe want to take this game. But come on, everybody who's watching this. Brian is going to take the Heat all the time. It doesn't matter.
It's a 6.5 point spread. They're 6.5. If they win 108, 101, they cover.
No, it's 4.5.
It's 4.5.
They could win 108, 103.
They couldn't cover. You like Miami to win a tight game? Okay, maybe. Okay, that's fine. But
Bam might get a triple double. But
you want Bam to get a triple double.
I do want to see what happens when Bam and Zion get cross-matched on each other. That to me will be interesting. I just want to see when that happens.
By the way, Steven Adams probably, maybe we'll get to this in our props. Steven Adams might have a lot of rebounds that game because when Bam is at the 5, sometimes he's pulled away from the rim. Like this is a game where Steven Adams might have one of those 11-18 stat lines too.
I could absolutely see that. All right, next game. Matchup of 0-1 teams here. Warriors versus the Bucks. Bucks coming off a really tough loss to the Celtics, and the Warriors, they got their ass handed to them in Brooklyn by the Nets. This matchup, I'm going to start with Jarod on this because Jarod and I had some conversations last night about his boy, Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Is this your MVP? Is this your MVP?
That's not my MVP.
This your MVP?
So this is a matchup of 0-1 teams. I think this is a matchup that would have had a lot more, I don't want to say star power, depending if you had Clay here for the Warriors, but you do not have Clay in this matchup. The Warriors did not look good on opening night. The Bucks obviously looked competitive and lost a tough game to the Celtics, as I said before. This line, pretty interesting in this game. The Bucks, strong favorite at -10. Do you like the odds? Would you bet on this? And who you taking, Bucks or Warriors, Jarod?
It's interesting because it opened at -7. It's now up to 10 already. I still like the Bucks to win big. Look, first of all, Giannis going to be mad as hell. He missed some free throws the other night and cost him the game. So he's going to come out and do his usual 30-something and 15 and whatever he does. But the other big thing about Milwaukee is the Drew Holiday addition was excellent. Chris Middleton was really good last night against Boston. And those three dudes alone are going to be a problem for Golden State to handle. Outside of Steph Curry, who are you worried about on that team? Andrew Wiggins? I mean, Eric Pascal? We do have James Wiseman, who showed some flashes and some big things. But again, if he's playing at the 5, is Brook Lopez going to be sort of savvy enough to sort of keep him away from doing what he does? At 10, it was with 7. I was like, oh, yeah, easy. At 10, I still like it, but I'm a little more hesitant at 10 just because we're getting into double digits. But I still think Bucks in this one because Golden State's so bad defensively right now. So bad.
Yeah. Murph, what do you think? Is Giannis going to have a big game? We'll probably get to that when we talk about the player props. Giannis going to have a big game in this one? Are you a believer in the Warriors?
I don't say I could be a believer in the Warriors.
Bring the we believe ever back. Bring the we believe ever back.
After game one, but it is one game, so I don't want to take, I didn't want to take too much from that either way. Either for the Nets we'll get into later or the Warriors. Milwaukee, I think this is a good matchup for the Bucks. I'm kind of staying away from 10 points here, but if I had to pick, I would take Milwaukee and. With the -10, they look good even in a loss to Boston. That was a matchup of two of the better teams in the East. Golden State does not look like one of the better teams in the West at this point. And even they don't. Who are they matching up with? The Greek Freak? Is it Wiseman? A rookie?
Right. Yeah.
Who else can do it? So. I'm actually talking myself into the -10. So go ahead and bang that. And don't get mad at me if it doesn't happen.
and they'll have no Draymond as well. Draymond not playing tonight in this game either. So
yeah. And so Brian, upon saying that with no Draymond playing and the concerns that Murph brought up, and I'll put my thoughts on this. I think this is the most likely spot for a blowout here on Christmas Day. I would go with this and take it. I know that the 10 is really tempting and out there. I take the Bucks. With that, I don't have any confidence the Warriors can get this done. Brian, you feel the same way, or are you going to surprise us all and pick the Warriors?
I think the Bucks win something that looks like 141 to 116 or some ugly ass shit like that. Like, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. Giannis is just gonna run in there, and bulldoze his way to 42 and 22 or some crazy shit. Like, it's just gonna be an ugly ass game where Steph Curry might have to get 40 and they're still going to lose by 25 or something like that.
Brian, speaking of that, the over-under for this game is 232.5. If we all think this is going to be a blowout, anybody willing to go with the over here on this?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I just don't trust Golden State right now. Like, to me, Draymond Green being out is not even a big deal. I don't know if Draymond Green is still good, period. I don't know if he is after seeing last year. And look, my brother's theory doesn't look too bad all of a sudden. He's always said that Draymond Green has only really been not defensively, has only really been that effective when he's had Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and then later Kevin Durant. And the first time we see him without all those dudes, he looked like a turtle. Like, it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? He just played basketball the way a turtle would play basketball with an oversized backpack.
Now, I will say this. Draymond definitely took the year off, all right? He didn't actually play hard any games because he knew, Steph's out, cool, I'm going to just chill. But to your point, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but if he busts his ass all season long, do you think he's going to do better than 10, 7, and 6?
So with Draymond, with Draymond, offensively, that's not what he's there for, right? He's there for the defense and the playmaking, right? So much of their offense unlocks when he is on the floor because he knows what to do when Steph is out there. When the Warriors were playing the Nets the other night, those guys look lost. Oubre was running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Wiseman's a rookie, so he definitely doesn't know. And Wiggins, we all know what his problem is. But Draymond knows how to play off Steph. And when he's playing well off Steph, that'll help the other guys know where to be.
And let me add one last thing.
Yes.
Paul George is worth $29 on Yahoo Fantasy DFS, and Andrew Wiggins, for whatever reason, is $27. I don't know why Andrew Wiggins is that close to Paul George, and by the way, is more expensive than Marcus Smart and Tyler Hero and Dennis Schroeder. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
That doesn't make any sense at all. All right, it seems like we think this game is going to be a blowout. This is probably the one everybody's going to be running to grab more wine. I know Jarod will be doing that, and I understand that totally. All right, next game, Brooklyn Nets. Going up to Boston, this game would have been a lot more interesting with fans in the stand to play the Celtics. Kyrie, will he burn the sage before the game? I'd like to take a bet on that and see what'll happen, or will somebody smack it out of his hand? That might be even more interesting. The Nets looked good in their opener against the Warriors, who we just talked about, and the Celtics, we talked about their opener and big win over the Bucks. Some people have said that this is the best offense the Nets have seen in years. Calm down. That's a bit ridiculous.
What are you talking about? You want to call them out or not? I mean, it's fine. We don't have to. I was just saying.
No, you can just look that up on Twitter.
You can't say names in the year 2020. Beef ain't the same anymore. Like people only do this shit to get their name said and heard.
I'm not trying to beef with anyone. I'm just saying, think before you post. Yeah.
This is the days of Mob Deep and True Life. It's a different game now.
Now, before we get into that, want to shout out Eric Chang, who's been commenting again, and he says that Andrew Wiggins looked like he never played basketball in his life. Brian would probably agree with that.
I'm not going that far. Right?
Yeah. And Eric, your question about the Bucks. You want the Bucks? I'm not sure.
1 hour, 1/2? What do you?
1/2. I'm just
half.
First half. Oh, Bucks in the first half. Will we take the over or the under?
What's the line? What's the line?
What's
5?
the line on them in the first
Probably
half?
5.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest. If
whatever it is, I'm taking it.
Even if it's we're like this, if it's in single digits,
easy take.
Yeah, that's actually a great bet. If it's 5-ish, yeah.
It's a great bet, right?
If it's 5, bang the hell out of that.
Bang the hell out of that. Now, you got to think that we could look on this, but you got to think the odds makers are going to try to push it a little bit closer to the overall line, which is 10. Eric said he thinks it'll be around 5.5. I mean, I'm still playing that because I think the Bucks can get out to a big lead on this early.
Yeah,
so,
like whatever the over literally could be 20, and I'm still going to take it. Nets Celtics, what's the line for that?
Yeah, Nets Celtics. So to get into that, good question, Eric. Thank you for that. We appreciate that. Nets Celtics. When we look at the line for this, the Nets Celtics is right now at 3.5. This opened at 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we expect it to be a tight game. I still would expect this to be a close game. Now 3.5. The Nets are favored in this. Coming off this, I think there's a lot of people behind the Nets. The Nets offense, like I said, some people a little bit too high. I'm going to start with my fellow Brooklynite here. So is Jarod also. Jarod also is Brooklynite, so I don't want to not give him some love on that. I'll start with Murph on this. Are people too high in the Nets before this Christmas Day game? And do you like them over the Celtics?
Yeah, no, people are way too high on the Nets because they're going off one game, and the Nets played great, and Golden State was absolutely terrible. I mean, Kyrie could get hurt tomorrow. Okay, so.
I mean, go to New Zealand tomorrow too.
Yeah, so to be so high that the Nets, they're going to win the NBA championship or be in the finals, no doubt about it. They're best in the East. They're going to blow out every team they play. I mean, it's ridiculous. So for that reason, this is kind of a stay away game for me in terms of who wins in the line. -3.5. If I had to pick, I'd go Celtics because I just think that. The public is so hype on the Nets right now that it's driving the line up. So, and Boston just beat Milwaukee. Boston has kind of proven themselves already. They've been to the Eastern Conference Finals a few of the last years. So we know what they are. Tatum and Brown. Brown had a great game last night. I think he had 33. Tatum was himself. Probably didn't even have a good game. Overall, didn't shoot that well, but made that last second bank 3. He'll take it. But Boston's a very good team, and they have continuity. So I think that they're in a little better shape for this game. They know who they are, and the Nets are still trying to figure out. I don't care how much they won the first game by. So if I had to pick, I would take the Celtics plus 3.5. And I would also bang the over because Tatum and Brown are going to both try to drop 30. Durant and Kyrie are both going to try to drop 30 plus. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Take the over.
Okay, all right. Now, the reason I put Murph first, not just because he's from Brooklyn, is that the next two people here on this show, not necessarily a lot of love for the city of Boston. So we'll start with Bryan after on this. Bryan, are you going to show some love to the city that really doesn't show you love?
I actually like Murph's prediction in terms of just, well, one, staying away. I agree, this is a stay away game. But two, also that, like, yes, we know the excitement around Brooklyn is a little excessive. I'll put it lightly, right? It's been one game. It's been like literally, and this is the thing when it comes to certain injuries, you have to wait and see how these guys look in February, if they even make it to February, if Kyrie Irving is going to just, spontaneously just hop on a flight, go to New Zealand and retire in the middle of March. You know what I mean? Like, these are things that we have to account for when it comes to the Brooklyn Nets this year, which could happen. I don't know. I'm kind of joking, but at the same time, like, would you really be that surprised? I think that this is a stay away game. I ultimately think that the Nets probably will win, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if Brooklyn, who to Murph's point is a little bit more proven as far as their continuity, as far as building off what they did last year, though they're obviously miss Kemba Walker. And if they had him yesterday in Milwaukee, they probably would have gotten a better shot off than the bank three that Jason Tatum hit. And there's something poetic about Jason Tatum hitting that three, a ridiculous three, and then Giannis missing that free throw. But that's another, story for another time. But it's a stay away for me. I think the Nets will win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boston wins.
Our man Eric Chang checking in again just told us that he looked it up. Heritage has the Bucks first half set at -5.5.
Over.
Yeah, bang that over. Bang that over. All right. Jarod, come on, man. Give me some love and let me know that Brad Stevens is going to pull out this win on Christmas Day.
Man, I'm going to stick to the bit. Fuck the C's. No, look. Everyone knows how I feel about those. Although, man, Jaylen Brown looked so good last night. I like Jaylen a lot. Look, I agree with everyone here so far. This is definitely a stay away game. I do think ultimately it's a one possession game. The line opened at -1 for a reason, right? I think it's going to come down late. It's going to be a game that's decided late just because these teams are very even and they're both excellent. I do think the Nets will find a way to pull it out because I think that, again, they're trying to figure out some things as a ball club, and I think they are looking at, even though they'll never admit it, they're looking at certain games on their calendar as measuring sticks, right? They're doing the whole us against the world thing, right? Like, you guys on the outside are saying this about us. Here's what we think, right? Because the fans are saying we're excited, we're happy about Brooklyn. But there are a lot of people in the media who are like, we can't wait for this thing to blow up and explode in your faces, right? So, and that's the stuff that they're reading and they're using as quote unquote bulletin board material. So I know that this game is circled for them and they're going to want to find a way to prove it and then when they're done and say, oh no, it didn't matter, it's just one game, blah, 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 blah. But it will be a close game. I do like the Nets to pull it out, but I would stay away. And Murph said bang the over. It's interesting. I don't know. I might take the under here. Because I feel like it might get real tight in that fourth quarter. And I think, Boston, of course, we know what they can do defensively. And the Nets want to hone their identity as a defense. The over-under line is what?
228, I
28.
believe. 228. Yeah.
28, yeah. And it's a lot of points. I'm not saying it's definitely going to be under, but I might stay away from the over-under too. This whole game is going to be exciting and fun to watch. But if I got money on it, I'm nervous. Stay away.
Yeah, I'd be too stressed on it. I'm staying away. I think it's going to be a close game. I can see it being reasonably high scoring. It's just too close for me to take the over. I might want to lean to the under on that because I'm like you, can see it being tight late. But I would stay away from this game. This is one you just want to sit and enjoy with the wine, not be stressed out about the money you might win or lose.
Spilling your wine all over your couch.
You can't. You can't have that. Want to remind everybody to use the propsnetwork.com live odds tool. This is what we look at for all our lines comparatively. You can shop the different betting lines using the propsnetwork.com live odds comparison tool. You go to propsnetwork.com/NBA. You can see different spreads, all the payouts from the best legal sports books, all in one place. Same thing we use to look at all the data on this show. So we encourage you to use it as well. All right, moving on. Final two games of the Christmas day. This is the point where your belly should be full, got a lot of wine, and we're down to the heavy hitters. This is probably the matchup that most people are looking forward to this day. Luka versus LeBron. Oh, yeah, my boy Luka going to be shining on Christmas Day, I hope. Mavs versus Lakers, that is the 8 p.m. game, prime time. I'm going to start with Jarod. I'm going to start with you because you've been talking about who the real MVP is, and it might not be Giannis. Maybe it's Luka. Maybe it's LeBron. This is also a very interesting matchup in terms of spread. Obviously, you've got the narrative of those two players around it. The line here opened at 7, guys. It is now at 6.5. Lakers favored in this one. Who you got, Jarod?
You know, this is such an interesting game, right? Because here all the narratives come, right? Luka, the future of the NBA, the future king. LeBron, the reigning king, right? This is although Giannis won MVP, everybody knows in the postseason, right? You're taking a handful of players over Giannis in the postseason. Chief among them, most likely LeBron James. Now, I think this is going to be an exciting game. The Lakers, like the Heat, I think, are rounding into form. They had moments against the Clippers on opening night where they looked pretty good, but moments where it was like, guys didn't know where they were going on defense. Marc Gasol in particular. There's Montrezl Harrell was a little bit crazy. They're going to take some time to round into form. But LeBron is one of those guys who knows the stage, knows how to put on a performance, right? Like that's just what he does. So he's going to want to prove, all right, Luka may be the future, but the future ain't coming anytime soon, right? Like I'm here. I'm still going to do me. And let's not forget, the Mavericks have no answer for Anthony Davis. Who's guarding him?
Dwight Powell?
Right. So Anthony Davis going to have a big game. It's -6.5 right now. I like the Lakers in this one. I'm taking them, and I like the over as well. I just think that, again, Christmas Day, LeBron going to put on a show. The Lakers are going to really come out and like try to do their thing, and then probably rest them for 2 weeks because it's too fast to be playing basketball again. So I like the Lakers to win, and I like the over.
All right, you like the Lake Show. Brian, are you feeling the same way? You're giving Luka and the Mavs some love.
I like the Lakers by double digits. I don't think Dallas, to Jarod's point, really has enough to sort of pull out this win. I mean, Kristaps Porzingis is not really playing either. So that means you're going to throw, I guess, Maxi Kleber if he plays, because I think it's a game time decision, and Dwight Powell and Anthony Davis. I'm not even sure who could guard LeBron on that team, although I'm not sure who could guard LeBron, period. Conversely, I'm not really sure who's going to guard Luka, so he might wind up with, 41, 17, and 12 and lose by 12 points, because it's more or less what I expect, that Luka's going to have an awesome game. He might have the best individual game out of anyone on Christmas Day, but I still think that he just won't have enough on his team. I hope that he doesn't have the absurd usage rate that I think he's going to have all season long, but that's another discussion for another day.
Absurd.
It might be closing in on 40. I mean, the way things are looking right now, but ultimately for this game, it's over for me. Lakers by 12-ish or so, and I think LeBron and AD are going to show out.
Yeah, I hear that. Come on, Murph. I know Trae Young is your boy, but you can give some love to Luka here, Ken.
Hey, I always say Luka's just a tall Trae Young, man. No, I like. I agree with everybody. I think this, you got to go Mavs -6. Lakers -6.5.
Right.
The Mavs just don't have enough without Porzingis. I mean, we already named the names. There's not enough there. They're not on the level of the Lakers without Porzingis. They're probably not on the level with Porzingis. And the Lakers are coming off a loss to the Clippers in the first game, which I know LeBron is not happy about. So they're going to come out really wanting to win this game on Christmas Day, make a statement. So, yeah, I would bang that -6.5 for the Lakers. The over-under, I'm staying away from. I can't really call it because the Lakers could go into clamp mode and just lock Dallas down, or or there could be a lot of points scored. So I'm not really sure, but definitely bang the Lakers -6.5.
Yeah, I would stay away with the over/under, or at least I would lean maybe a little bit more to the under. But I'd stay away because, like you said, I don't know how that game is going to play. I agree with all of you. Dallas does not have enough. Watch their game, their opener against Phoenix. They struggled down the stretch. They had no other options beside Luka or anybody that you would reasonably trust. I mean, you're not going to trust Tim Hardaway Jr. You're not trusting Josh Richardson, Maxi Kleber, like those guys when they have a nice second guy around, but not. Would it shock me if this game was a blowout? I kind of see it like Brian in that 12 to 15 point range. Taking the Lakers on this, I would absolutely. I think this is a solid bet is going to get on Christmas Day to take Lakers here in this one because I think it'll be entertaining. We'll see some nice highlight moments from LeBron, Luka, AD. Will be that competitive game in the third, fourth quarter? Probably not. I would lean to seeing that not happen. All right, last game of the night. This is a rematch. Probably had nightmares for people on the Clippers all off season. And, I almost thought in the Clippers opener against the Lakers, I said to a friend who's a Lakers fan, Clippers went up by 20 or whatever they went up by. And I said, well, come on, man. The Clippers be clipping. You know what's going to happen. They're going to blow this lead. And, they did that. Speaking of blowing leads, the Clippers blew 3-1 lead to the Nuggets in the Western Conference semifinals in the bubble during the playoffs. As I said, they've been having nightmares about that, especially Paul George hitting the side of the backboard. They probably want to, start to exercise some of those demons, guys. Jarod was a man who picked the Clippers to win it all last year. The Clippers obviously did not win it all, but they're now on the redemption tour. Jarod, this game is interesting. I know they put it for the last game tonight, but I still think it's a very, very, very intriguing, interesting matchup. It's opened with the line at 1. The line is now 2.5. Clippers are favored here. Mm-hmm. Do you like your Clips, or are the Clippers going to be clippering?
Why they gotta be my Clips though?
That's your team and your boys, man. That's your team.
That was last year.
We
You know what? I'm sorry, guys. I like how you guys are sticking to the Clipper mantra. That was last year. I apologize for all that, and I do not want to take anything away of having Discord on the show the way it is.
Why you got to bring up old stuff, man? Come on. No, look, I did pick the Clips last year because, look, on paper, they've got a ton of talent, and I still like them a lot this year. This team is remember, yes, they blew a 3-1 lead, but they were up 3-1, which means they were good enough to be at that level. And in every closeout game, they had a double-digit lead. I think a lot of that
means they weren't good enough to close.
Well, that means they had some chemistry issues, which hopefully – they figured out. But be that as it may, look, no matter what the Clippers tell you, we moving on, whatever, blah, 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 bullshit. They know they want to come out and win this game because they can't lose again, right? They're like, no. They want to make a statement. And, Denver, I said this in our first show, I was kind of like, I'm going with the under with Denver. I thought they were going to start the year slow. It didn't look great. They had moments last night against Sacramento. They didn't look great in the way that game ended. Defensively, I said I was concerned about them. That still remains. And, I think, look, they're gonna have some help being at the altitude in Denver, and there's no home court advantage, but the altitude is their home court, so they're gonna feel a little bit of that. And look, Jokic can do his thing, but look, Jamal Murray, we all said, is he going to be a guy who's going to come out and start repping like he did in the bubble? So far, game 1, looking like old Jamal Murray, where one night where another night won't be great. So I think that the Clippers will come out, win this game. I like them. It's minus 2.5 now, or what? Yeah, I like the Clippers in this game to start 2-0. But I would stay away from the over/under just because, again, the way the game could play out, particularly with Michael Porter hitting a bunch of late threes or something. I just don't know there, but I do like the Clippers to win this, and pretty easily.
All right, Murph, you liking the Clippers, or is last year just going to be more of the same for the Clips?
Well, I too picked the Clippers to win it all last year. So they hurt my feelings too. And I too, when they went up 20 against the Lakers opening night, I too was when the Lakers came right back, I was like, oh, here we go again. These clowns. These clowns they're gonna go up 20 and lose. But I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised that they ended up, fighting out that game and winning that game. So, I mean, you can only take that as a good sign, I guess. And then, going into this Denver game, they have to have some sort of chip on their shoulder about, Denver knocking them out last year. They have to take this game personally. And on top of that, Denver did not look good in the first game. Michael Porter Jr., he is going to, obviously he had 24, I think. So he is going to be a staple in this offense. That's good to see. But I do think, the fact that the Clippers will take this personally, they can play good defense. Maybe they have a different identity under Tyronn Lue. We shall see. But I'm pretty strong on taking the Clippers here -2.5. I think this is a game that they will get.
Okay. Well, we just got a comment that told us to get off the Clippers nuts, which is perfect. Which is perfect for the last person.
I'm off their nuts. I'm off.
Yeah, I'm like, when are we on the Clippers? Like, we've been getting on them. Even Jarod, who picked them, and Murph did too, have been critical of the Clippers. And I'll tell you somebody who doesn't like to be on anybody's nuts, Brian. Brian, are you on the Clippers nuts for this pick?
Wait, B, real quick. That's a Lakers fan that said that, right? 1,000%.
Yeah, don't.
Here's the thing. I actually have Denver winning this game. I actually think that Jamal Murray is going to have a very big night. It's going to be a night that's as big as the night that that video leaked of him getting head on Twitter.
I knew you were going to pick that up.
Speaking of nuts, no, I think that it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great Jamal Murray night. All you're going to see at the end of the night on the floor are just sneaker scuff marks, and Patrick Beverly's going to be down there. There'll probably a couple pubic hairs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be crazy. I think Jamal Murray is going to have a 40-point game, and he's going to show us that the stuff that he did in the bubble, that he's still capable of doing that more often than he has shown, or that he did show in the first game of the season. Though I generally agree with Jarod. Jamal Murray is going to kind of be like, up and down this season. I don't think he's going to do what he did in the bubble on a nightly basis, because that shit was just absurd. He literally looked like a brand new player over the course of, a matter of weeks. I don't think but I do think that the Clippers, like, we need to relax on like how good they could actually be on a consistent basis against these top tier teams, because they showed us who they are last year to some degree, right? I just don't think they're going to have these two big back-to-back wins to start the season. And I think Jamal Murray is going to have a big game. I also think your boy, Jarod, MPJ, is going to have a good game. I don't really love him as a fantasy play yet. I kind of got to see it first. You know what I mean? I kind of got to see it play out for a sustainable amount of time. And I think Jokic is going to be Jokic for the most part. I don't trust that Paul George is going to have the same exact game that he had against the Lakers, though I hope he does, because he will be in my DFS lineup at only $29 on Yahoo. That's a very cheap price for somebody like Paul George. And then, with Kawhi Leonard, I kind of don't know. He didn't even play great against the Lakers. I don't really know. I don't know what kind of season he's going to have. I'm trying to project this, right? There's going to be some low management there. He also likes frequenting strip clubs, so we'll see if he gets himself in trouble at some point during the season. There's a video online if you don't believe me, and I think it's going to be an entertaining game, but I think the Nuggets will pull this one out, no pun intended.
So a lot of nuts, banging, a lot of ridiculous things in this show. I am not on the Clippers nuts. I'm like Brian. I'm actually going with Denver in this game to bounce back. I would take Denver with that 2.5 points. I would take them. I think they're going to bounce back. You know why? It's simply because of this. The Clippers are going to clip. They're going to do what they're going to do. I can see the Clippers getting out to a nice 10-point lead and blowing it, and that would be so poetic. And I think the Clippers are not going to get the Christmas gift that they think they're going to get.
And
end up with another loss.
All this Clipper hate, man. What's going on out here in these streets? It's like Kerry Champion here. Clippers gonna clip.
It must be Lakers fans.
It must be Lakers
I'm not
fans.
even a Lakers fan. Now, I do think the person that commented here don't matter.
He's definitely a Lakers fan. No doubt.
I'm pretty sure he or she is a Lakers fan.
Real quick on Jamal Murray, I just want to say, Dex, no one here thinks he's going to be averaging 40-something points a game like he was in the bubble. That ain't what I'm saying. My point is, can homie average 20 points a game and like 7 assists? Like, can he do that?
Yeah. That's my thing with him.
Consistency you want to see.
Yeah. And y'all know I don't like when point guards are averaging like 4 assists per game or whatever the case may be. Like, that's kind of my thing with Jamal Murray too. He's not really a point guard to me. Like, as much as it's cool to see him go off for like 28 and 30 and things like that, I would like to see him get 7 assists per game or something along those lines.
I mean, damn.
Yeah, this season for him a lot is going to be about, can he be consistent? All right, so those are your Christmas Day games. Be sure to tune into that. I mean, there'll be nothing but wall-to-wall basketball on your TV. Hopefully everybody in your house is okay with that.
Next, when that game's on, what you drinking? By then, I'm into the whiskey. By then, single malt.
You talking about the late game? What am I drinking by the late game?
Yeah, late game, man.
So what I probably will be drinking by the late game is a little sorrel and rum. That's what I do for the holidays. I have a little sorrel and rum. That's what I'm doing. For those don't know, sorrel West Indian.
Yeah, I don't know. So you're gonna have to tell me too.
It's like the Caribbean coquito, but it's not a. It's our kind of holiday.
Yeah. You said coquito, so now you know what I'm saying. Like I get it now. I don't drink it, but you already know.
Listen, man. We're here to educate everybody. But look, Jarod, if you're going down with the whiskey while you see the Clippers clipping, not a bad way to
single malt, baby. Yeah, we going. Single malt. We good.
You good. Just want to encourage everybody, please, you like the show, you like the content on the Props Network, please subscribe to the Props Network YouTube channel. You can get more NBA betting content from us on this show, NBA Picks and Props. It's our second episode, but we plan to do a lot more. Also, be sure to check out my mentor, Jamoke Davis. He talks about everything in sports and sports betting on his show, Just for Sport. Great one to check out. Also, Joel Walkowski talks about all the betting on the college football bowl games. The college football playoff is coming up. You definitely want to check out what the odds are on that and how you should bet, how you don't lose too much of your money in one school that'll make you mad. Don't want to have that happen. So
shout out to the Florida Gators.
Shout out to the Florida Gators for sure. Definitely want to do that. Merry Christmas to you too, Eric. We thank you for all your comments, questions. We appreciate that. So thank you. Also, we have Jarod Hector. Said he's a first-time viewer, long time. I can't believe I'm actually on the show. Sound like I'm on a radio station. Thank you guys for enjoying it, saying that we're funny and you're definitely enjoying the content. We like it. It's probably just us all clowning on Bryan and the fact that he is a Miami Heat fan. That's something we'll come to understand.
Or it was me bringing full circle Jamal Murray's rise.
His rise. Yes. And what people should know is, look, man, we have fun talking about the NBA and betting, and we all have jokes on everybody. I'm a suffering Knicks fan. Jokes. We got nothing but jokes here. All right, but let's get into before we wrap this show, some of the other things people can look to bet on. Some Christmas Day player future prop bets. So future, you could have bet on it a little bit a while ago. But we are looking at some of the odds for three categories: most assists on Christmas, most points on Christmas, and most rebounds on Christmas. So I want to ask everybody. Let's start with rebounds, because that's something Bryan would love to fight for. He likes fighting for the rebound. And we'll start with him on that.
Let me tell you, JV actually led my team in rebounds despite being the shortest person there. In fact,
who was the tallest person that let you do that?
He was 6'2". In fact, coach had me do tip-off every game. Yeah, because we were such a bad rebounding team.
But B, you know why you were the leading rebounder? Because rebounding is about one thing: want to. And you got a lot of want to. So,
I was getting about 6 boards a game that year. So
I can see that. Probably elbowing, hurting people in all kinds of ways. Now, when we talk about the odds for these categories, talking about, we'll first start with rebounding. We are doing that all via PointsBet. They have some really good odds on this for you. So rebounds, just want to give people some information on what we're looking at. The favorite, or the person with the best odds to get the most rebounds here. These are some of the numbers that we have. We got Bryan's boy, Bam Adebayo, plus 650.
I'm not picking.
Plus 650. You're not picking him. What a shock.
No.
Jokic also at plus 650. DeAndre Jordan at plus 550. And Giannis Antetokounmpo minus 145.
Yeah, wow. You're not going to get like 13 rebounds just like off the rip,
Right. So interesting value. Just to throw some other names, I throw out those were the top 4. We also have Luka Doncic at plus 1100, Steven Adams at plus 1250. I don't remember who it was that mentioned Steven Adams earlier. I think it was Bryan.
Yeah.
That talked about it. Jarrett Allen at plus 1300, Michael Porter at plus 1900. So some interesting players in terms of what you can get for value in terms of most rebounds on Christmas. Let's start with Bryan. He says he's not picking Bam Adebayo, which is a complete shock to me. Bryan, who do you like? Who do you think is the best? Who would you pick to win this? And who do you think is the best value bet to get the most rebounds on Christmas?
The best value bet is definitely Tristan Thompson. He's plus 5,400. I mean, I'm not sure he's going to get the minutes necessarily, but he's one of these guys that could actually, play 22 minutes and get like 16 rebounds. I'm not sure that I'm going to take him necessarily, but that's somebody who's worth putting $1 on.
Hmm.
He's still growing into that role in Boston, and he's still like coming off the injury. So, I don't know if he's 100%. But against the Nets, who historically are not great at just keeping other guys off the boards, whether it be Jarrett Allen, whether it be DeAndre Jordan, whether it be Justin Hamilton and Brook Lopez once upon a time, I think Tristan Thompson's actually a pretty good bet, given that he's so far down. The person that I actually think is going to wind up with the most rebounds is probably going to be Steven Adams, to my point earlier. I would put, I like his odds. He's plus 1250. There are a lot of guys ahead of him who I also like. I think Jokic is a good bet. I think Bam is a good bet. I don't know why DeAndre Jordan is actually higher than Jokic or Bam. That's kind of interesting there. And Giannis Antetokounmpo is the favorite for a reason. I think he's going to go crazy and have a lot of rebounds against Golden State. But I actually like Steven Adams because I think that he's somebody who can get 18, 20 rebounds against a Miami Heat team that minus Bam doesn't have or doesn't play a lot of size. Kelly Olynyk is a center on that team who he's not really around the basket. Myers Leonard doesn't play. Precious Achua is basically their backup center, and he's a 6'9" rookie. So with Bam there, and he's pulled away from the rim sometimes because he'll switch on to guards, and he'll have to take, Lonzo Ball here, Nickeil Alexander-Walker here. Like, he'll get pulled away, and then what you can do is you can have Steven Adams just go in there, corral for rebounds, and actually come down with rebounds because he doesn't have to box out for Russell Westbrook to sort of come in and flower and take them from him. So,
but it's funny you mentioned that, Brian. It's Steven Adams because and his boxing out and what he did and how Westbrook got a lot of rebounds there. But I actually think it bodes well for Zion Williamson. Plus 4,900 here. I could see him getting a good amount of rebounds. We all know that is Jamal's boy. Murph, do you like Zion Williamson here? I think he's a great value here because of the boxing out ability of Steven Adams here. Do you like Zion Williamson or someone else?
Yeah, I don't really like Zion in this spot because I haven't really seen him put up monster rebound numbers yet. In the 15 to 20 range. So I haven't seen him do that yet. So I can't really pick him. But the person I do like at the value of a plus 950 is Anthony Davis. We already talked about Dallas having nobody that can handle him. I could completely see him going off. He didn't play particularly well in that first game, so he's going to have a chip on his shoulder to have a good game. So I would go plus 950 with Anthony Davis. And let me just respond to Jarod in the chat. This is an NBA show, but I can't help a college basketball question. He said he had Wisconsin over, taking Wisconsin. I think that's a good pick. Minus 1.5 at Michigan State. Michigan State has been shaky lately.
And look, hey, Jarod, you want to know some stuff about college basketball? Jamal Murphy is your man. He's the blackatologist, man. He's your man. You want to go to for that. Sorry, Jarod. I'm glad Murphy got to answer that question. So definitely good at that. Jarod, who do you like for most rebounds?
I mean, Giannis is probably going to have the most, right? I mean, there's a reason why he's minus 135. What do you have last night? 14 or 15, something like that. But in terms of value, see, they're doing this weird thing where Jarrett Allen's plus 1,300 and DeAndre Jordan's plus 550. Now, they might split sort of rebounds from each other depending on playing time. But if that's a tight game, how long is Nash going to keep DeAndre out there, right? DeAndre's the kind of guy that could gobble up 12 to 14 boards really easy. I mean, he had 11 playing not a ton of minutes the other night in their opener. That's a decent value there. I love the Bam pick as well. I think that's excellent value as well. And what Murph said about Anthony Davis, those to me are your value picks. That's where I see it. And definitely take a flyer on Steven Adams because, he's a wide body. And that dude, man, him and Zion at a front court, that's a lot of rebounding right there.
A lot. Definitely a lot. All right, moving on to most assists on Christmas. We know that Brian does not care for the point guards who don't dish the ball well. So I do not think he'll be picking Jamal Murray here. I don't think that'll be happening at all. Let's just look at some of the odds. LeBron James, he is the favorite with the best odds at minus 105. Although we saw the ball was maybe not in his hands as much as last season in the season opener. Dennis Schroeder had a lot of time at the point. Luka Doncic at plus 200. Lonzo Ball at plus 600. Nikola Jokic at plus 750 and Stephen Curry at plus 1150. Although, as we've talked about, I'm not really sure who he's passing to that is going to be able to score. I'll start with Bryan, since you don't like the point guards without assists. Please tell me you're going to pick your boy Kyrie to win this category.
No, I thought about Steph Curry because he did have 10 assists somehow in the first game against the Nets, although, maybe garbage time in the third quarter played a factor into that. Lonzo Ball is up there as somebody for me who could also get this. I'm going to roll with, based on the odds, save your eye rolls, please. I'm going to roll with Jimmy Butler at plus 2,800. Because Jimmy Butler is actually the de facto point guard of this Miami Heat team. They start Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, Mo Harkless, and Bam Adebayo. Jimmy Butler, much like last year, is kind of operating as a de facto point guard, when last year they also had Kendrick Nunn as a starter, but Kendrick Nunn's not really a point guard either. Like, Tyler Hero is, I guess, the point guard or guarding the point guards on that team, but he's not really a point guard. Jimmy Butler's the main ball handler on this team. And with me, it comes down to odds and value, right? Plus 2,800, yeah, that's worth a bet. Like, if Jimmy Butler and, I don't think any of these guys are going to go too crazy with assists, although Luka Doncic might. And I don't know who he's passing the ball to, but he just somehow winds up with 17 assists every third game. But Jimmy Butler, I think, is somebody who can wind up with 13 assists or something like that, and I could feel good about my odds of him getting the most of the night, even though there are 10 games and a lot of players to choose from. There's going to be a couple of games where we probably don't even see anyone get more than 9 or 10 assists. So I'm actually going to roll with Jimmy Butler here. Steph Curry and Lonzo Ball would be my backup options.
I would assume that some point in doing the show that you're going to get the comment that says "Get off Miami's nuts." That's definitely coming. It's gotta be coming at some point. You know what's coming. Murph, we did not get a shot from Bryan in picking Kyrie, his boy. Who are you rolling with for the most assists and best value on Christmas Day?
Yeah, I would totally stay away from Kyrie. I mean, it's Christmas Day. Okay, they're playing Boston. Kyrie's not passing the ball. Okay? He's not passing the ball. Okay, so stay away from Kyrie. I like them. This is a tough one, but I would have to go with Doncic. He doesn't have the greatest of odds here compared to everybody else. Actually, well, what is he? Plus, decent odds. But yeah, I would go with Doncic because I could totally see him getting like 15 assists. Like you said, Bryan, we don't know really who he's passing to, but it doesn't matter because they'll throw a double team at him and he'll make the right play, make the right pass, and someone will be wide open and he'll hit the shot. That's how he gets his assists. So I like Doncic there. I mean, besides him, I like the Steph Curry option. But really, to me, the only good bet I really see is Doncic.
All right, going with Doncic. What do you say, Jarod?
So 2-1 odds are still decent, right? So I like Doncic if you just want to make some money. But who I love actually is Nikola Jokic.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Jokic had 14 assists last night. So that's not like once in a random thing. Jokic frequently does that and has triple doubles all the time, and his assist numbers are always in that 13 to 15 range. So I love Jokic at plus 450 because again, that's the Clippers, right? You can see him easily passing out of the double team, finding a wide open.
Sorry, I just want to make sure the odds are right. At plus 750, actually.
Plus 750, yeah. So I love that. And then if you want to take a flyer on Steph at plus 1100 because he did manage to have 10 assists, somehow with passing to who I don't know. So thing is, he is their facilitator and their offense. So if anybody's going to pass and get assists, it's going to be him. Who else is doing it? So, but yeah, I love Jokic there at plus 750.
Yeah, I'm so with you on that. I was going to go with the non-point guard here. I trust Jokic to rack up some assists, especially I also think the Clippers are going to clip. So he's going to find people backdoor and everything that he does. So I definitely like that happen. Now for the final player category, most points on Christmas. Who's going to put the ball in the bucket? We've talked about already, kind of hinted at some guys we think who could have a big game. Jamal Murray, Giannis, Luka. We've talked about Kevin Durant. You want to talk about, Jamal thinks Kyrie won't pass the ball, which means he's going to shoot. That doesn't mean he's going to win, but he's definitely going to shoot. Who's going to be the biggest category? Giannis is the favorite, plus 300. Luka, plus 350. Anthony Davis, plus 550. And Jason Tatum, at plus 750. Sorry, I skipped over Steph Curry at plus 650. Those are your top 5 in terms of odds. Who's going to be putting the ball in the bucket at the highest rate? Jarod, I'll start with you.
What's interesting here? I love a parlay here to go Luka to do most points, right, and most assists. If you want to just little fun,
That's
fun
a good fun
thing.
parlay right there.
Little fun parlay there. Could easily see him doing that, throwing up 42 tonight. And you're still getting good value because he's what plus 300, and what's Giannis also plus 3. Yeah,
he's plus 3. Luka's plus 350. Giannis is plus 300.
It's still again, you're still getting decent value there, right? It's 3-1 now. I said this is a stay away game because if I don't know what's going to happen in terms of wins and the line, but the whole narrative, KD's back. Maybe he is back. Maybe Christmas Day he decides I'm gonna drop a 40 burger on the Boston Celtics plus 9. Why not? I'll throw a buck at that.
Not a bit. Can't go wrong there with your boy KD. Brian, who do you got for putting the ball in the bucket here? Most points on Christmas Day.
I know what I said about Jamal Murray, but I don't see how you don't go Giannis or Luka here just to be safe, given that it's still 3-1 either way, right?
Really good odds there. Can't beat that.
Yeah, and it's you see it happening. Maybe I'm scarred because in 2K yesterday, I was using the Orlando Magic. I acquired Donovan Mitchell in a deal, by the way.
Always comes back to a video game.
I'm going to explain why. Acquired Donovan Mitchell for Mo Bamba, Jonathan Isaac, a first-round pick, and 3 second-round picks, right? Got Donovan Mitchell.
Steal.
So first game of the season, I was like, let me actually decide to play this and see how it goes instead of just being a GM. We played at Milwaukee. Giannis had 30 on my head in the first half.
Of course.
He actually had 20 in the first quarter. You know what I mean? And he wound up with 60, and they still lost. But they wound up with 60, right? And maybe I'm just scarred from that because I can sort of see what it's going to be like for the Warriors who don't have Nikola Vucevic and Aaron Gordon and Bobby Portis. I have him coming off my bench, of course. And, so Derek Favors, you know what I mean? Like, it's just James Wiseman and dudes. So I think Giannis is just going to go crazy and he might have a 50-point game tomorrow. No joke.
Wow, 50-point game on Christmas.
If he doesn't, it's because they're winning by so much after the third quarter that Budenholzer's like, yeah, nah, you got to sit. We need to keep your legs. You know what I'm saying? It's still too early in the season, but I'm just going to go with Giannis here because 3-1 odds is too good to pass up.
Okay. Murph, who do you like in terms of the odds and to have the best scoring game? Is somebody going for 50, dropping a 50 piece on Christmas?
Well, I like what Brian's saying. Giannis is a good pick here, but if you want to look for a little better odds, I'm with Jarod on that Boston Brooklyn game. So I like Tatum as a possibility at plus 750. Durant is a possibility at plus 900. Kyrie, we know, like I said, he's not gonna pass the ball. Plus 1,500. That's probably a great bet. Even Jaylen Brown at plus 2,600. He could, maybe he's just starting the season off ridiculously hot, and it can have 2 big scoring games in a row. So I would look at that game as someone who can do it, and you can get great odds for.
I'll just throw out another name. I think you guys brought up great, but it's surprising because I talked about how the Clippers are going to clip. But it's always interesting when people are motivated. And this guy had a good opening game. Paul George at plus 2,500. He's got to be motivated to exercise some of the demons against the Nuggets. Maybe he goes hard.
Nah,
maybe he goes.
He did it in the first game. He did it in the first game. Now he's good now. He's just going to chill.
You don't think he can do it twice in a row?
He's going to chill now. Actually, you know what? Speaking of Paul George, because he's 2,500, I think Brandon Ingram should get a shout in this at plus 2,700. Yep. We know he's capable of getting 40 on any given night.
Miami Heat, tough against Miami, though.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he should get a mention. I ain't putting no fucking money on Brandon.
You know what that tells you, everybody? He believes in the Heat way too much. All right, guys, we are going to wrap things here. But before we go, we got to keep it 100. So you guys have $100 to responsibly spend on Christmas Day. How would you spend it? Would you do a parlay? I mean, Jarod mentioned a great parlay before. Would you do something with the over-unders? You can do quarter half bets. how would you spend your $100 for bets on Christmas Day?
I'm a parlay. $50 on the Bucks to win -7. 25 on Jokic having the most assists, and 25 on KD being the highest scorer. Okay. I get it. I know all of them got to work for your bet to work. I get it. But if that all works out, that payout is woo. That's nice.
That could be. What was your parlay again, Jarod? What's the parlay you're gonna do?
That one or the one before?
The points and assists.
Yeah, points and assists.
Points and assists. Luka, points and assists.
You're gonna put Luka with points and assists. Okay, gotcha. Murph, how you spending that 100?
I'll go 25. I'll put 25 on Giannis at the plus 300 most points on Christmas. And then with the other 75, I'll do a parlay on the games. And I'll say Clippers -2.5, Lakers -6.5, and Pelicans plus 4.5.
Nice.
I like it.
Bryan, assuming to put all your money in the Heat, so just tell us how you're going to do it.
I got $49 on a Luka triple-double.
49?
Hold on. There's a reason for that. I got $49 on a Luka triple-double, right?
Okay.
I got $15 on Tatum outscoring Kevin Durant. So that's 64 right there, right? I got 35 on a Marcus Smart and Kyrie Irving kerfuffle at some point in the game. That's 99. And I got $1 on Montrezl Harrell kerfuffling with Luka Doncic because, as I mentioned in our group chat, Montrezl Harrell has big Bernard Hopkins energy. Bernard Hopkins famously said, "I ain't going to let a white boy beat me." And I feel like Montrezl Harrell is going to step to Luka Doncic at some point in this game.
And Bryan, what did Trez say to Luka in the playoffs last year? What did he call him?
What did he call him?
Oh, you don't remember?
I'm trying to. I know it was one of them. I'm trying to remember which one of them it was.
The camera's zoomed right out of him. He said, "Bitch ass white boy."
White boy.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Montrezl Harrell is the Bernard Hopkins of the NBA. All right.
You know what's not shocking here for people who don't want. I'm not surprised that one of Bryan's bets and how he'd spend his $100 involved potential violence.
Two of them. Marcus Smart. Matter of fact, I'm going to split it. I'm not going to put 35 on Marcus Smart, Kyrie Irving. I'm going to put 18. So the math, 35 and 1, carry the one. Yeah, 35 and 1, just 36. So I'm going to put 18 on each kerfuffle. And this way we can be even odds. Yeah.
Jarod, I'm going to put 50 on the same parlay as you. I would do Doncic with the points and assists. I like that. And I'm just going to keep it even 50-50. I'm going to put the other 50 because I think the Clippers are going to be clippering. And I am putting it 50 on the Nuggets to win that game, and with the line at 2.5. I'm taking 50 on the Nuggets there. That's how I spend my money. Guys, pleasure doing the show again for the second time. I think we don't want to hold up Jarod anymore from getting to that wine.
Starting off with a nice Blanc de Blanc. Hey, it's early, so I got.
That's how you started early. That's what you told me on Thanksgiving.
That's right.
And me either. Remember, I'm not at my house, so
right. So you're not. Just want to let everybody know, if you like this show, NBA Picks and Props, we are going to continue to keep doing our thing. Please hit the subscribe button on the Props Network YouTube channel. You can get more from us on the Props Network. You can also get us on the Backpack Broadcasting, where we do a lot of great content. You can check out Jarod's his 7 Footers podcast. You can check out Jamal's Bro podcast. You can also check out Bryan's writing on Deadspin, and myself and him on Ain't Hard to Tell podcast. So there's great ways to still can check out what we are doing. Remember, the propsnetwork.com/NBA is the best place where you can shop around for your NBA bets. Please bet responsibly this holiday season. Be safe this holiday season. Remember, it's only 21 and over to bet online. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER today. Again, bet responsibly. You don't want to ruin that holiday season. You don't want to ruin your Christmas, and then you're drinking all the wine and whiskey because of all the money you lost because you didn't listen to us. Well, I don't want to put that much on us because then y'all can come at us and be mad. I don't need that kind of stress this holiday season. Guys, seriously, everybody enjoy their holiday season. All the viewers, Eric Chang, thank you for watching. Jared, don't matter. Clippers, get off the Clippers nuts. Thank you for watching as well too. We appreciate you. Guys, have a great holiday season. Enjoy the gifts, the wine, the eggnog, everything you do. and enjoy that great basketball that we are going to see on Christmas Day. We'll be back with more content, hopefully in the new year. So Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to everybody. For Jamal Murphy, Bryan Fonseca, Jarod Hector, I'm Dexter Henry. Until next time on NBA Picks and Props, peace, y'all.